And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gem in the Crypto, episode 1202. Today is Wednesday, March 13, 2024, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10ish.
At 10ish, and today's top stories: Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF market share falls to 50%. Biden resurrects 30% crypto mining tax in new budget proposal. Nigeria presses Binance for user data on top 100 local users. Ugh, diabolical work. And last but not least, Coinbase offers $1 billion in convertible notes. But first and foremost, Bitcoin Zay, what's going on with those prices?
Oh yeah, let's take a look at the prices. We have some huge price action from this last week, sort of going into next week. It's looking like, but some things have slowed down. Bitcoin is at $72,499, down 0.15%. Ethereum at $3,982, down 1.4% today. Binance Coin at 584, up 10% on the day. Solana at 151 is up 0.2% on the day. XRP sitting at 67 cents, down 3.7% today. Cardano at 74 cents, down 0.08% today. Dogecoin sitting at 16 cents, been there for a little minute, down 2.6% today. And rounding out the top 10 is Avalanche at 53.58, up 5.5% today. So let's take a look at some of the trending coins. Pep and Waves all up today. And I really want us to look at this fear and greed index. We're in the 90s, people. We are back in the 90s. We done with the 90s. we in the 90s as far as extreme greed. And I don't know if you saw that, King, the guy that started the "we done with the 90s" trend as far as basketball. Basically saying Michael Jordan ain't have no left hand, and that a bunch of them were plumbers.
Hilarious.
But yeah, we done.
I think I seen some of this on YouTube.
Yeah, it started picking up, but yeah, extreme greed in the 90s, people are going crazy. And you know what's wild is every single bull run, Bitcoin makes its gains, and then everybody kind of rolls it in altcoins. This may be the first bull market where people aren't really talking about Bitcoin being 70,000. They're like altcoins, whatever altcoins they can get into, meme coins, tokens, layer 2s, layer 3, whatever. And that's the funny part. The greed index more when people are increasing daily.
And if you want to know what's really crazy, I'm not sure how many of you have actually done this, but and I was trying to do it in the background right now. I know it's easier on a mobile device. I can't see why I can't do it on the laptop. But if you all were actually going on CoinMarketCap and look at some of your favorite altcoins and the last 7 days, 30 days, and 60 days, specifically the last 30 days, majority of them are trading against Bitcoin, something we've tried to tell you about many times. So for those who understand, again, I was looking at a bunch of them yesterday. I'm talking about many of the popular ones that are pumping right now are down 24 to 25, 30% against Bitcoin. So that means, yes, it looks like they're pumping. You're making a lot of cash. But when it comes to actually buying that back into Bitcoin, using that cash for Bitcoin, you're actually losing money in the altcoins the last 30 days. So if anything, I will say, I mean, we've kind of already saw the last week, but if anything, now is actually the time to jump into some of them because as Bitcoin settles, I think we're going to be settling, going sideways here. It's people even calling for a dip right now. People are saying they think we're going to hit a big dip before the halvening. Some people are saying, no, we're going to keep this pressure going. I can see that happening. The ETFs aren't slowing down. We're actually going to be talking about them again today. I think I saw Singapore or Thailand even say, hey, we'll take US Bitcoin ETF. It's like, why would we go to you when we have it here? I don't know. But anyway, everyone's trying to get involved. So I can see that keeping the price point where it's at and pushing it. But again, a lot of people are calling for retracement. But regardless, look at those altcoins compared to actual Bitcoin, not to the dollar or anything like that, and see what it's doing. And a lot of them are not doing well this past month. So I would just caution everybody on that one. Oh, yeah. All right. Some quick shout outs. What's going on? Philip Shaw, Wisdom Bars, Rashu, Hyben, Tech, Laura Smith, Dana Dane, Andrew Martins, San Morgan. If you know, you know. Memories with Mike, JB, DNOID, Rashu. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. Man, we had to get this show started. We were talking before the show, telling too many jokes. We had started the show early. We didn't push live. We told you all before this is how the show actually started. We would talk every day, talk some shit, swallow some spit. And it was just like, man, we got to share this with the world. So here we are. Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF market share falls to 50%. That's right. Grayscale's slice of the Bitcoin ETF pie has fallen below 50% for the first time since it was converted alongside the launch of 9 new ETFs in January. As we were mentioning before the show, as we mentioned on the show before, this is why I said it was corrupt. It was a bad move. It was unfair for them to launch BlackRock and Fidelity and everybody else at the same time they launched Grayscale. When you have people like Grayscale who have been waiting in the wind for years for their opportunity for a Bitcoin ETF, and then you say, well, we'll let you have one at the same time. We'll let this freaking giant who just entered the space have one as well. I mean, it's crazy. It's unfair to me. I mean, imagine this. I don't care who you can pick. Pick any prize fighter out there, your favorite fighter, UFC or boxing. And imagine they have already gone 6 or 7 rounds with another prize fighting boxer. In fact, every round they fight a new prize fighter, okay? Because that's what it's like. Every year, Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF, they won it. Gemini as well, and some of the other ones out there. Every year they try to get an ETF. They were met with heavy resistance. They were met with another prize fighter. SEC 1 year. FINRA another year. The United States government as a whole another year. Who else we got? Who's the commodities and futures? CFTC another year. So imagine you have to fight a prize fighter for the first 6 or 7 rounds of a fight, a different one every round. And then on the 9th round or 8th round, they say, all right, everybody, this one's for the belt. And now everybody's allowed to fight at one time. And everybody else who's been sitting on the sideline who haven't had to fight the last 8 rounds say, all right, let's get it. Let's see what we can do today. Like, that's essentially what happened. Like, you're going in there against somebody with fresh legs. Like, you will not win. Grayscale is essentially a startup, even though it's been around for some years now. When you start to look at the likes of BlackRock and some of these other companies that have literally been around since the slave trade, like they don't stand a chance. So it's something we kind of already saw pointed out. We pointed out already. We already saw it coming, but now it's being amplified. We were joking before the show. This is the beginning of the end for Grayscale, and we both thought they probably should have. I mean, honestly, Grayscale should have sold their business. The minute they say, hey, ETFs are legal, they should have said, yo, BlackRock, we set up already. You can have it. You can take it. We want out. Because competing against the likes of these companies, which we already said, these ETFs would get consolidated because most of these companies didn't stand a chance. We didn't think the likes of Grayscale stood in that, but it looks like they're going to be a part of that. And holy shit, if Grayscale market share has fell 50%, no other smaller ETF stands a chance, people. This was like the biggest one outside of the BlackRocks and Fidelities. Maybe ARK you can throw in there, but no one else that's small literally stands a chance if Grayscale's falling. Again, we're talking about crypto asset manager Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF has fallen below 50% market share for the first time. I can't believe this is the first. I mean, it's the first time in ever. I don't know why they put that, but yes, it's fallen below 50% market share since the big boys and girls came to come play. What are your thoughts on this Bitcoin, Zay?
Oh yeah, well it looks like they, like you said, they're taking on, not just they're going into the 8th round trying to fight. They're fighting the champion in the 8th round. like I mean, literally, this is like fighting some schmuck off the street, and then John Jones or
right, exactly, yeah, yeah. You've been fighting, yeah.
Fresh, just you sit there like, oh, you mean to tell me I gotta fight him? Come on, but yes, they now account for 48.9% of the total 56.7 billion held between 10 U.S. Bitcoin ETFs. And let's see, we got Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton, Van Eck, Valkyrie, a few other ones, 21 shares. And the thing is, we said this when it started. We said this a while ago, like just us talking. It was funny because it is unfair. But that is the big fish essentially coming to eat the little fish. They show up, and most of their money to me was a money grab because they had to get as much as they could before the ETF showed up. They had to. And honestly, I never saw them having a chance. Like you highlighted here, Grayscale's fund accounted for around 99.5% of their total assets under management. That was the first day of trading. And then over time, consistent daily outflows, which averaged 329 million per day, have eaten away at the ETF's market share. We also have to highlight the fact that they had to help with the mid-February bankruptcy courts. They allowed crypto lender Genesis to liquidate roughly 1.3 billion worth of GBT shares as part of efforts to reimburse investors. So that's also a problem for them as well. And in total to date, their outflows have reached just over $11 billion. So in my opinion, their market share will be very, very tiny at a certain point. Grayscale basically has unlimited money. You know, the Lucky Vanguard was too stupid to jump into it on top of it, because if both of them were going, this might have happened even quicker. So, you know, Grayscale, you had a good run. It was fun while it lasted. To us, you should have sold, got out, made your money. You've done good for 10 years now. Congrats, way to go. But when the big fish show up, it's time to eat. And some of these other, I've seen some of the other ETFs, they actually are offering 0% fees for a
They
year.
have to.
Yeah,
They
like
got to
just to
lose
compete.
money.
Yeah,
They got
just
to
to
lose
compete.
money
They're
on
like
it.
0%. We don't care. Just onboard everybody as much as possible, just to try and make it. And I know people that have invested in the ETFs. All of them are basically saying, like, yeah, I'm going with BlackRock. I'm going with Fidelity. I'm going with somebody that I know over Grayscale. So they're basically stuck around too long, and this is not surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if in a month or two that number is 10%, and then in another few months that number is less than 1%. Like, nobody will. You don't have to pay Grayscale premium when you have these other ETFs. A competition, that's what happens.
It's actually going to get to the point, I think, where it's going to go beyond. So it's already at 0%, right? We have to offer 0% to even be in this market. Like, we have to give you free money. Yeah, I think it will go beyond that to where Grayscale eventually, come on, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Next, you're gonna have Grayscale, of course, not Grayscale, BlackRock, if they're not already, which I'm sure they are, because how did this get passed so quickly? Like, this is still mad to me, the fact that they stood up and said we want a Bitcoin ETF, and within 6 months, 9 months max, we had a Bitcoin ETF. That is the insane level of corruption that we're ignoring. But I'm assuming they already have people lobbying and doing everything else. So the next move for the likes of the BlackRocks of the world is to now create new legislation to make sure there's no competition. We can't have no more companies doing new ETFs, or if you're going to do a Bitcoin ETF, you need to have at least 1 billion. Like, next step is to add layers and barriers so there's no competition to ever reach you. Once that's done, and I think it'll be done probably in the next, I'll say 6 months to a year. Once they have that totally wrapped up, I think the next step is for them to really press and put pressure on these smaller companies offering ETFs, to where it's like, so they won't have a full monopoly. They're just going to be like, look, this is the way this is going to run. We'll essentially pay you for every new person you onboard to your ETF, but you'll be using our actual ETFs and our Bitcoin to issue these out and to structure them and settle them and resolve them. It's going to be BlackRock doing all that. But you all can be the front-facing people to shake hands and sign people up and blah, blah, blah. And most people won't know unless you read page 45 in the bottom left corner with the asterisk and the note at the bottom that says, hey, everything in this document is actually owned by BlackRock. Unless you read that one little sentence with the asterisk, you would never know. But I think that's where we're going to go. It makes sense. You don't want to get rid of every company, because then you do start looking like a monopoly. But you just want to make sure they understand the stress and they can't really grow without you. Again, you establish it so that every new customer they bring, you pay them, blah, blah, blah. I think that's going to happen, because there's no way, like, literally, there's no way for a smaller company to compete. Like, even if you put 0% fees, what happens if the BlackRock say, all right, 0% plus an automatic 1% back? You won't be able to compete with the number on it. So I think the only thing for them to do is to go. And again, when it comes to the Grayscales of the world, when it comes to the Facebooks and the Metas and the Twitters and the X's, I just don't get it. That's when you know these people got too much money. When you make $1 billion from a company, when you found a unicorn, you sell that motherfucker. Okay, you trying to ride it around town and take girls on a trip and showing it all.
Bring it in the house.
All of a sudden,
keep that unicorn outside, man.
All right, and you know what happened? You took that unicorn near a real life poacher, and they said, I ain't never seen one like that before. But I tell you what, I gotta have it on my wall. I don't know why. And bang.
As I say, it's about to be BlackRock Mafia family right here.
Come on, you know what I mean? This is crazy. Listen,
BMF.
You all are flying too close to us. Here's the thing: I don't think people in the crypto know. Shout out to Reggie. Reggie's in the comments saying Grayscale share failed because it was overpriced more than everyone else, and their product lost a lot of people money even when Bitcoin increased in price. Hey, we can say the same thing about Coinbase.
Money grab. That's what I said. Get as much as they can before the big boys show up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, to me, this is people are turning companies into unicorns in a space where it's not wanted. That's the biggest thing. This will be a entirely different conversation if, I don't know, we're talking about you did something new for farming or new water or whatever, and there's people who like, yeah, we want this. This is exciting. And even then, you'll still have adversaries because of competition. Some people are like, you messing up my money. But by and large, no one wants the crypto market. You're talking about Wall Street, the federal government, private governments, agencies, everything else in between. No one wants it. So not only are you building and creating a unicorn company in a market that's already under siege, but then you're going to hold on to it. And like, I it just don't make sense to me. Make the company, sell the company as soon as everything wears off, because I know it's going to be some non-compete clauses, rebuild another new company. It is like, what is the problem with that? If you got the sauce, then you got the sauce. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be on an island somewhere with my feet in the sand after selling the
Right.
company. Like
Come on.
it'd be much easier. But you're right. Some people they want to compete, and Grayscale doesn't look like they're doing a good job right now.
And see, and last about this is the problem though. It's like, all right, fine. They wanted to compete, they wanted to keep going bigger and grow. And now you're competing against a freaking giant who is now about to give you no room to breathe. And even worse, your market share is dipping. That first mover advantage doesn't even exist anymore now that they made them all launch at the same time. So as if I was a customer of Grayscale, I would honestly be like, let me compare. Should I be with Grayscale? Should I be with BlackRock? Y'all doing the same thing, except one clearly got more pull. So it's unfortunate, but it's happening. Yeah. Damn, Grayscale upset. It had to be you.
It had to be you, player.
It had to be you. All right. Biden said, hold on now. Hold on. Pawpaw said, I am of sound mind and judgment. Do you see those articles or those it's kind of like the news at one time that all the local channels ran the same story, thinking they were all like, and they're doing the thing right now. Biden, they keep saying he in every meeting he's the sharpest. He's on top of things. He's strategic. They keep that's like the talking point.
They keep saying that every single time I see him talk about him.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember which one of those late night talk shows. It was. I forgot. I think Jon Stewart, the guy who keeps going from Democrat to Republican back to Democrat. He don't know who he is, but I think it's him.
I know.
Yeah, and he was like, I forgot. He was making a joke about how they keep doing that with Biden and everything. It's about to come back to me, but it was hilarious to see that. Oh, he was saying maybe you all want to catch that on video. He was like, you all keep talking about how he's sharp and he played all the video of everybody doing that. He's like, how about somebody records it and show the world? He's like, because a recording of that would be amazing to see. Like, we all need to see that. I agree. But Pawpaw's back at it again. Biden resurrects 30% crypto mining tax in new budget proposal. That's when you know you're doing something right, right? No one likes you. They don't want to talk about regulations. They don't want to even bring you in the room. They don't want no one to know you. But the minute you do something, boy, you better believe they talking about you. What's going on with this story?
Oh, yeah. So they revived this idea of a 30% on electricity used by crypto miners in the budget proposal for 2025. This was in a document titled General Explanations of the Administration's Fiscal Year 2025 Revenue Proposals. And the administration highlighted that current laws do not address digital assets apart from broker and cash transaction. And because of this, the administration wants to impose an excise tax, which is taxes levied on goods like fuel and something like digital asset mining. What they wrote was any firm using computing resources, whether owned by the firm or leased by others, or leased from others to mine digital assets, was subject to an excise tax equal to 30% of the cost of electricity used in digital asset mining. And I have two thoughts. First thing here, this is the death of mining in America. If this happens, they're just going to move somewhere else. That doesn't mean that mining is done. They're just going to go somewhere else where the taxes are either non-existent or extremely low. And then also they're ignoring the fact that, especially Bitcoin mining, that it actually helps with renewable energies. It actually incentivizes using clean energy. It actually helps the grid. These are the things that they're ignoring simply because their clean up the code propaganda didn't work. And all of the money that XRP and all of them spent to try and say clean up the code is messing up the environment. None of that shit worked. So now they're like, well, let's just impose a 30% tax. All that's going to happen is that they're going to move to another country if this is implemented. I don't think it will be implemented simply because it's I think what they did is they said 30% just to make it like a big number, and then they're going to scale it back to 10, 15, something where it's manageable, where they can still make money. There's a lot of deals going on with mining right now because they're starting to realize that this actually helps the environment. It's actually good for the energy grid. And once people realize the truth about Bitcoin mining and crypto mining in general, I don't think they'll want it to be taxed into oblivion, because you got to read the fine print. It actually said whether owned by the firm or leased from others. So those of you who have machines and you're leasing them out to the company has it and you're paying a lease for it, you would have to pay 30% of the electricity cost on top. I mean, I couldn't even imagine trying to mine Bitcoin and then you got to pay 30% on that. And then if you have to convert it to cash to pay bills, you got to pay 20% on that because it's short-term capital gains. Like, really, they're going to tax you out of oblivion. There's no point in making money in this market. So this would be dumb, and Paul needs to go sit his ass down somewhere. And the people behind him, they're the ones to blame because Joe Biden, he can't even spell Bitcoin if you put him on TV right now. But I guarantee you the people behind him are the ones saying this simply because they want to put a stop to freedom, in my opinion.
Whoever's out there listening, whoever you all can share this with, shout out to Michigan. You know, Michigan militia. We don't play them games. They almost, boy, they turned up during COVID, didn't they? They was like, hey, I don't even want to say it. They said, if y'all know what happened in Michigan during COVID, they was going for the king chess piece. Well, I should say the queen, I guess. But
yeah,
they weren't doing all
kidnapping niggas out there. They don't care.
Hey, we'll go for the top immediately. So I just want to say this with my Michigander in mind, my Michiganders in mind. My gunpowder is dry, folks. Today, you all want to do this, let me know. I'm good for at least 3 or 4 people, I'm sure. This would have led to it did lead to an actual war.
Yeah.
This led to an actual war before here in the country. People, I can't believe we're having a conversation about it. Like, I really can't believe we got to the point in our country where this is even not even a debatable topic, but they're actually trying to push for legislation out the blue for a new asset class, for a new market. The government is saying we're going to tax it 30%.
Just random.
How? Just random. How and why? What is that tax money going to? Do we get to vote? Like, who is this shadow group of people who just makes these decisions? And like literally everyone. And here's the worst part: if you don't go along with it, then you get mainstream America is like, oh, why are you being anti-government? You're treasonous. It's like, no, the people who are doing this are treasonous. They're anti-government. They're anti-American. But instead, they've pimped the entire American population to believe that if you don't blindly listen to our government and just hand over fucking tax money, which they do absolutely nothing with, it's just blowing my mind. Then we're in the wrong. We're the criminals and everything else. And it's like, how many times I saw the little tweet or something where it was talking about, in Hunger Games, you sided with the resistance. In this movie, you sided with the people who push back against the government. It's like in every fairy tale or movie, everyone sides with the resistance or the people pushing back against the government. But in real life, people actually side with the government and not people pushing back. 30% tax out of where for what? Like, literally, they said this shit was illegal a minute ago, and now they're saying we're going to tax it. It doesn't make sense. If it's illegal, somebody needs to be in prison. If it's not illegal, then stay the fuck back. I don't need you all in my personal business. This is madness to me. Like I said, if anybody's ever ready, let me know. You got one here for a shit show. Like, I'm not kidding. This is crazy to me. I don't even know what to say, bro. I don't know what to say.
Hey, that's
30% tax out of blue. Just wake up, 30% tax.
Yeah, like you said, the Hunger Games analogy. I don't understand how everybody is always, we're pushing back against resistance. We're pushing back against tyranny. We're pushing it back. Even the Cypherpunk manifesto is essentially people pushing back in a digital sense. And most people are just laying down and letting it happen. And fortunately, we have people like Cynthia Loomis, who's actually pushing back on the political side. And we have more people in the government now to push back against that. But it has to be the people. Like, you as an individual have to decide, we're not gonna take it. At some point, you got to say, hey, I'm not giving you 30% of the cost of my electricity. You mean I gotta pay for electricity and give you 30%?
And that's my, that's the double. What?
Yeah, you got to come take it from me. And then on top of that, this is the thing. Remember when all the exchanges, when they first started pressing the exchanges, they start sending out letters, and the only person that like basically balled it up and threw it in the trash was like Kraken and like one other exchange. That was the time where they should have pushed back as a group, as exchange. They should have all got on the call and said, no, none of us are going to listen to you. Now do something. Same thing with the miners. At a certain point, I think miners are going to have to say, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And, I have a friend that he has one of the biggest mining companies in Washington State. I'm interested. I'm going to text him today to see what he says. But he's on that side of, look, I'm doing this for me, my family, and for people that, want to do whatever. He's like, as soon as the government starts overreaching, I'm leaving. He was like, I'm either leaving or I'm telling them no. And he was like, if anybody agrees with me, they can join in. But most people, they're going, well, we got to do what they say and we got to pay. And I'm like, bro, y'all spineless. All you got to do is just say no one good time, get some good media press around it. And I'm sure people will galvanize around you and support it, especially people that have machines in your facility. I'm sure they'll be like, hell no, I want to pay 30%. You mean I got to give you 30%? Like, they're not going to make any money off of that. They're basically bankrupting you, like Cynthia Loomis said.
Well, the most egregious part is if you were to actually do it by the numbers, do the homework, the banking industry uses more electricity than the
Easy.
Bitcoin industry. So my thing is like, why aren't you taxing banks an additional 30% on every? I drive by banks at night. That Bank of America sign lit up all night. It's lit up all night. That's not the only one. Wells Fargo lit up all night. Literally, take every bank sign. Chase got some stripes and colors going down one building out here like goddamn casino. Take all those buildings. I'm serious. Take all those building signs out the United States. And to me, it should be fine. You can leave your lights on overnight while you all are closed. Why are you closed nights and weekends anyway when you have other people money? Don't know the answer to that one, but fine. You all can be closed whenever you want and have other people's money and have lights glaring throughout the night. Let's charge 30% on that. But we're not doing it's like we're not doing that. We're not charging banks an extra 30% here or there, none of that. But because a new market is burgeoning, you've been trying to figure out every which way to stop it, and you can't. Now you're saying we need to do a 30% of that. And again, they're not telling you where this is going to be used for. They're not saying, well, this percent is going to go here. We're gonna make sure no one gets hacked again. We're gonna make sure if you do get, they're not even telling you. They're just saying we want the money, and we're not going to tell you why. Crazy, mad. I don't get it.
The mafia ain't got nothing on our government.
Oh man, I keep telling gang, man. This is the biggest gang, strongest gang. Shout out the United States. Well, hey, tell your kids out there if they ever want to join the gang, join the government, people. Stop. You don't need to go to these little smaller gangs out here. It don't get no bigger than the U.S. people. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I was just looking at this article because it was one last thing. I'm gonna come back to it. Man, I'm just at a loss for words, man. 30% out the blue, and you're gonna do it or else. You gotta love it. All right. Nigeria says, hold on now. We can outdo the U.S. on some draconian laws and corruption. Nigeria presses Binance for user data on top 100 local users. That's right. Nigeria may seek a $10 billion fine from Binance as retribution, as the country believes they really messed up the local economy. Again, we talked about this already, but you literally have a country blaming a startup company for jacking up their economy. For one, slap yourself for that. And then second, this is my point when it comes to every cryptocurrency company out there. Where and when does it end? So does Nigeria get to take a bite out? Does the U.S. get to take a bite out? Does England get to take a bite out? Does France get to take a bite out? Does Russia want their cut? China gonna want their cut? Like, where does it end? This is crazy that it's even happening like this. But again, this goes back to all those companies not banding together when they had a chance to actually push back and fight back. And you're starting to see what happens when you don't do it. Now that they're all isolated and they're by themselves, countries are just trying to pick apart these companies. What are your thoughts on this and Nigeria blaming Binance for their entire economy?
Hey man, all I gotta say is, Jesus, come put on your sandals and come down here. We need you, because that's about the only person that can save the crypto industry right now from this scrutiny that's happening. But one thing is, I've talked to my guy. Some of you may know Ray Youssef. He used to be the CEO of Paxful. He's the CEO of No One's app right now, and CivKit. And he's told me that these Nigerian regulators that he talks to, they are literally scared. And we've seen the video of the Nigerian senator that said, we can't control these kids. These kids, they won't stop using Bitcoin. They won't stop using crypto. We can't do anything to stop it unless they shut down cell towers and essentially shut down the entire government, because you can't. Nigeria is the best use case of peer-to-peer markets when you state that people need it. Saylor can get on TV. Michael Saylor can get on TV and say, hey, it's just a store of value. I'm keeping it forever. But then you can talk to people in Nigeria and they're like, no. We use this every day because the Naira is more volatile than Bitcoin, and I would much rather use it. And, it states here, this request is part of negotiation between Binance and Nigeria, which argued that Binance had a crucial impact on the local currency. The Naira's been going down since the 60s. Stop it. And if you want precedent, if you remember back in the 1930s, they used that same excuse for Executive Order 6102, where FDR, they took everybody's gold and they said, hey, we're in a recession because everybody's hoarding all this gold. Our local economies are suffering because you're hoarding all this gold. Come give it to us. We're gonna give you this piece of paper that certifies that you own it. And then we're gonna jack the price overnight from $15 an ounce to $35 and basically make ourselves rich overnight.
And
So
then they got rid of gold to the
and
dollar.
then they got
Perfect
rid of
play.
gold too in 71. It's all the process because you gotta understand these people have 100-year, 200-year plans. They outlive you and your grandkids, so they got time to wait. In your lifetime,
Right.
you may see one big change in your lifetime, but they got time to wait. So if you take that same mindset and you put it into every government, this is the same thing I think Nigeria is going for. They may do some sort of significant take from exchanges. They can't take from individuals, but from the exchanges, just basically extort them. Say, hey, you're allowing these people to have the ability to transact peer-to-peer, the ability to get onto your exchange, make money without us, and we're not getting any part of it. We got to get a taste. And then they're going to blame it on the Naira. Like, look up, if you can, the
You
Naira.
see this chart? I got
Yeah. Does it go back to the 60s? Because if you go back to the 60s,
No,
it's
I
even
can get it
worse.
back there. Let me see. I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
get it back to the 60s.
yeah, like it's literally them coming out 60 years later and saying it's your fault the Naira is suffering. The Naira no. It has nothing to do with Binance. Binance was started 10, 11 years ago. It ain't got nothing to do with, with Binance. But they need a scapegoat because governments will never make themselves look bad. And in my opinion, Nigeria, they need a barbecue. That's what they need. They need a barbecue from Haiti ass nigga to show up and be like, have you seen that, King? The dude from Haiti?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
I think he's a plant because I've read Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I think they're destabilizing them so they can get the iridium from Haiti. However, there's a leader, so-called, that has basically a whole contingent of army people.
Oh, you talking about a gang leader?
Yeah, the
barbecue.
gang leader.
Oh, I know barbecue. Yeah, I know barbecue.
Nigeria needs a
You talking about
barbecue.
Coney
Yeah.
part 2? Coney?
Yeah, Coney part
Coney head ass.
two,
Coney
Gaddafi
barbecue.
part two, Confessions of Economic Hitman. We put it in the Discord. Read it, people. This is the same playbook. Destabilize, put in your own leader, and then siphon out all of the goods and all of the wealth. So that's what Nigeria, it looks like they need right now. They need a barbecue to show up and be like, hey, you're not taking nothing from nobody. We're gonna exchange what we want to exchange. The Naira is garbage. We still walking around here in this shitty economy, even though y'all keep trying to promise us like it's going to get better. We don't want to hear it. So we need a barbecue. Let's get a Nigerian barbecue wherever you at. Get some guns. Get a deal with the CIA. Get some get some backing so you can go ahead and topple Nigeria, bro.
I saw the story. I agree with you as well, and that's my thing too. It's the same with gangs too. It's like just really sit them down. Like, all right. Let's say you get control of the country. What do you do next? There's old people who need hospitals. There's kids who need school. Like, are you ready to do all this? Okay, we didn't think so. Please shut the fuck up. Sit back now. Barbecue, after hearing him speak, and he was like an ex-police officer. He is not ready to lead a country. No. So I agree with you.
He's a plant. To me.
Where is he getting these resources? I'm with you on that.
Yeah, because I seen guns with extendos and switches, and I seen guns that ain't even gotten John Wick. And of course, he got the huge Mason necklace. That don't help. So I'm like, come on, man. It's something going on. And he wouldn't have been able to get all this media attention unless they knew it was coming. But just seeing that type of revolution, it looks like Nigeria needs that, or they're just going to extort Binance.
Hell, we need it. We on the brink of needing it. When you have a private company that can say we want an ETF or we want something that's forbidden and we can get it in 6 months for shit sure, and our record is 300 and something and one, we've only one time haven't gotten it. And I'm sure if we were to go back to that one time and look at everyone involved, there'd probably be some car accidents and plane crashes in there and heart attacks. We didn't get one.
Speaking of,
I was going to rant. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, hold up. You just said the perfect word. Do you remember those Nigerian billionaires that were going to the Super Bowl that got in a plane crash?
No.
You didn't even hear about that, did you?
We talked about it on the show before.
It was like they may have been trying to help with the crypto market. They may have been trying to shift their banking philosophy into, hey, let's go into crypto, because you're right. The plane crashes start showing up. The heart attacks start showing up.
Come on, man. Hey, listen, all I'm saying is the new bird call is going to be, let's have a barbecue with these folks. All right, we're not having a party no more. We're not throwing no more surprise parties. That's in the past. All right, no more state property going on. From now on, we're having barbecues. Like, oh, he invited a barbecue? No. The other barbecue. Talking about the Haitian. Yeah, we're gonna have a Haitian barbecue, for them, bro. Let's have a Haitian barbecue for these folks over here. That's a new one, by the way.
We're about to drop the Sweet Baby Ray's off on you.
If you know, I saw somebody that put a little Sweet Baby Ray's on the DM card. Yeah. We about to just drop some Carolina barbecue all. That's my new thing. Like, hey, bro, it's all good, bro. Like, you heard what buddy say about you? It's good, bro. I'm gonna invite him to the barbecue. You mean the cookout?
Nah.
Nah, bro. It's a barbecue in Haiti going on. You don't know about it. You'll find out soon enough. No, seriously. I wasn't able, bro. Bro, it's funny because you froze at the same time, so it made a weird noise. So listen, I wasn't able to get the charts for its lifetime inception, but we don't even need it. Like literally just looking at the last 10 years, the Nigerian, the Naira, it looks like a shit coin. Like you get 2 pumps on the way to a dump. Like this is a currency, people. It literally looks like a shit coin. So this is the last 10 years. I want to point this out because in March of 2014, it was what 0.006 of a dollar. Let's see, and it was going down. I mean, it was steadily going down. As you can see here, 2014 went down, 2015 going down, sideways, a big drop during 2016, quick pump, then even a deeper drop in 2016, another quick pump, try to keep it alive, drop. Now, what's interesting is right here is when Binance was actually invented and it became popular. Let's say May of June of 2017.
Yeah.
That's when many of you heard of Binance for the first time. And I might even be early with that one, to be honest, because they weren't the popular kid on the block. But going to this page, you can see Binance was founded. Okay. Founded in July of 2017.
Yep.
All right. So to be fair, let's give it 3 months, July, August, September, October. People really didn't know about and start using Binance until say October 2017. And then you also have to remember 2018 and 2019 were bear markets. So nobody was using no exchanges really. but whatever. Let's just go to October of 2017, September, October. Here we go. I mean, even if we were to go back to July, like I highly doubt a new crypto exchange came out on the 27th? Maybe shit, maybe it did. Maybe that one day. Good gracious. but seriously, like whether it was that day or months afterwards, it had already dropped substantially. Like literally it lost half its value of already losing more than half its value at the time. Right here on this dot is about the time Binance was invented, a startup. So you're telling me when you went from 0.006 cent of a dollar all the way to 0.003, again, lost 50% of your value before Binance was invented. That had nothing to do with crypto. Let's say they were responsible for this 0.3 to 0.0002 drop or whatever, 0.001% or one drop or whatever. It still doesn't account for the steady decline over time. And again, this is just a 10-year chart. Like Zay said, we were to go back to the 60s. This thing is even sharper in a downward trend. So, I mean, we already know the facts don't support it. Nothing supports these arguments that people make, whether it's the energy, whether it's Nigeria saying it's their fault, whether it's President Biden, Paw saying we need to do a 30% tax on them, but no one else for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but I mean, none of the evidence support these things that these people are after. So at this point, I really just want faces. I want to see who's putting the battery in Biden backs and Elizabeth Warren backs and all these people, Pelosi. Like who is behind you doing it? Which bankers are doing this? I already know the answer. Which bankers and foreign nationals who aren't even American are pressuring you to do this? Because it is fucking treason. If I ever get anywhere near the power, I am going to do them worse than people done Nazis, people. You don't understand how this erodes national security for real and erodes the average American's confidence in the American government. And it's not everybody. It's literally a small group of bankers, a few foreign nationals, and a few treacherous ass individuals we have working as regulators and politicians. I say tar and feather. All right. Code tar. I don't want to be accused of violence. All right. I had to get out of my system. I got to get out of my system in the mornings. Coinbase shares dipped after hours as exchange plans $1 billion convertible notes offer. What's going on in Coinbase?
Oh yeah, so Coinbase, they're basically taking the MicroStrategy route, and they're trying to get the convertible notes going because MicroStrategy they basically created a eternal money pit. Like they basically it's just a convertible notes, raise the money, buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin goes up, make the money back, and then have another raise another year. So Coinbase, they're basically doing the same thing. Their offering will better position the firm to pay off 3 existing debts due in 2026, 2028, and 2031. So they're trying to raise $1 billion from senior convertible notes to raise cash to repay debts and for general corporate purposes. Okay, so Brian Armstrong, if you wanted to go on a vacation, you should have just told us, man. If you wanted to general corporate purposes, whatever. Of course, if you know about senior convertible notes, they are debt security that can later be converted into equity, much like stock, and will only be privately offered to eligible institutional buyers, which must be repaid by April 1st, 2030. The world might not even be around by then. Listening to these people talk about AI, they're going to be smarter than humans next year and smarter than all humans by 2029. Elon just tweeted that out today. You may not even have to pay any of this back. So this might be a smart move. Just take out all the debt you can, and you don't even have to give
That's a
anything
good
back.
point.
The notes, they're a valuable tool for looking to raise capital, and Coinbase is seemingly jumping at the chance to take on debt while investors are confident in the firm. Very smart, because I can tell you right now, some people are already seeing it. I've already said this a million times, that I think Coinbase at some point, they're going to be the new FTX at some point, because they can't. They're going to be fine. They're going to be found doing something nefarious, because it's no way that their volume and their trading engine shut down every time the price is going up, unless there's something going on. Even though they do have their stock on the exchange, we've seen that go in the toilet too. Just because they're on the stock exchange means nothing. And most of the early investors already cashed out, like Nas and all the other people that we talked about. So they're taking out this debt. They're trying to pay it off for later, and I'm sure they think that they're going to make it all back either way. So, in my opinion, I think this is a smart move on their point. They found the money printer like MicroStrategy. They probably got the strategy from Michael Saylor himself. I wouldn't be surprised they got the strategy from him. So we'll see how that goes over time. And and we can't forget, Reggie is already saying they may have infringed on the patents from InChain. That may be the black swan, because I don't know what it will be, but I feel like something is brewing.
You've been calling it. I give you this.
I've been calling it, and that's the thing, like, nothing could happen, but I've spoken to employees. I was one of the first people on Coinbase ever back in 2013. I remember when the site was ugly. If you can find Coinbase how it used to look, it was ugly. It was the ugliest. I remember way back then talking to Sinclair. Sinclair was meeting Brian Armstrong when they were sleeping on couches in an apartment. Like, I've been there from the beginning, and there's always been this air of, yeah, we're going to be a crypto bank. The problem with banks is the reason why we started crypto. At some point, there's going to be some sort of thing in the background. I don't know what it is, but that may be the black swan that takes it out. And you won't have any tears from me.
I mean, this is crazy. Oh yeah, I just watched The Gentleman on Netflix too. I was watching that yesterday. Yeah, they had a little bit of everything there. TikTok is banned in the U.S. It's Bitcoin Chris. Shout out to Bitcoin Chris. So it looks like not officially, but they passed the bill that could ban it. It has to head to the Senate now. Yeah. And this, like, again, people, where we're at right now, we should not be. Like I said, I want to know the faces. When you say something like we need to ban TikTok, we need to tax crypto, basically everything that threatens the state, everything that threatens the gang, like, I'm like, it is what it is. Everything that threatens the state, they're pushing back against. Who? Who are the people putting the batteries and the regulators and politicians back to say we need TikTok banned? Because I can tell you for shit show, at least 30% of the population, we're talking about under 18, they are not pushing that narrative. So we know for a fact a large part of the population want it. There's a large part of the population who don't care. And then you have a small fraction of loud, angry people for whatever reason. Like, again, this is crazy. I don't know how this is. Yeah, is this China? We are officially in China. Yeah, we are officially in China.
This is China. Hey, you know what? You know what's crazy? This is less of rich versus poor, black versus white, men versus. This is young versus old. We need to get these
ideas,
old niggas out here.
Too.
Old, not age, ideas. We need to get these old ideas, these old niggas with these same thought processes that got them rich 50 years ago. Warren Buffett telling you just buy Coca-Cola in the 60s. Motherfucker was born in the 90s. Like, those old ideas have to go. It's not your age, because there are plenty of older people who are still that still are competent and think long term and actually care about what happens to their kids. And then you got these old ideas coming in like basically, we need to ban TikTok because they're intrusive. Hey, I get it, but everything is intrusive. Your phone is listening to you right now. Everything is listening to you. Your TV is listening to you. You got an Alexa in the crib. You got any type of phone is listening to you. It's all listening to you anyway. NSA already came out with that. Snowden set the precedent because nobody fought for Snowden. They basically like, we can do whatever we want. So I think TikTok, that's just a way for them to basically blame China for something. And you got a whole generation of youth. I can tell you right now, my nephew gonna be heartbroken. You take away TikTok, that man might walk around in the dark listening to Bobby Womack in his bathrobe for 3 days, talking about get rid of TikTok. So who knows? I don't really use it. But at the same time, China, all they did was basically get everybody's information. And yeah, they've been doing that for years. They've done it a bunch of different ways, but this was probably the most creative.
Well, here's the thing. Many things. Even if China is getting information, the other way they, like you said, they've been getting it is something as simple as fine. We'll let Facebook collect it and we'll buy it from them. Like
Yeah.
people, these companies, how you think they paying all these bills and everything's for free? Like there ain't enough free money in the world. They getting the money for marketing your data to other countries. That's the easiest way. Everyone does it. A. B. I think is an interesting point out. What was it? When you're talking about banning TikTok. So one local TX said he think this is a psyop from China. Where is that? There it is. Where you get a generation youth addicted to a tool, then older folk want to ban something, and the young and youth will rebel. That's what China wants. I mean, China wants all types of disorganization here, as do we there as well. But outside of it, I think it's more or less along the likes of just, again, this is the why. The 30%, the TikTok, like I just don't understand where and how this is coming or why it even matters. Because again, even if China isn't doing it, any other app is doing it. It's not like it's just not going to happen all of a sudden. It's just going to cancel out. We're going to be safe in the world. But I don't know. It's just crazy to see how many things are getting banned and what's not being allowed without any votes happening. But I think this is the way of the world right now. This is the way of the future right now.
Hey man, I actually want to see a ban because I actually want to see a little bit of rebellion. Because this is the thing, the older people who sort of are, comfortable with their life, they're not really going to be in rebellion. But I can tell you right now, you get an army of 18 to 25-year-olds that can't use TikTok anymore. That's the first time they ever see, hold up, you could ban this and stop us from doing exactly what, whatever we want to do. That might trigger some things in their mind. I think crypto might have been the first wave where people start saying, oh, this is a rebellion in money, so to say. But hey, you take away TikTok, you are literally taking away somebody's heroin. These kids are literally addicted to these to TikTok and some of the social media apps. You take that away, yeah, man, you gonna have people fighting in the street. I'm sorry, but they winning. Like I said, I think America's cooked. We can get it back, but you gotta be willing to fight. And like I said, look out for yourself.
So that was the last thing I was gonna say. I didn't want to forget. That's why I was actually rambling on. I'll be forgetting stuff. No, here's my thing. How the fuck does the United States government allow a Chinese balloon above our land for a week or two, but say we need to ban TikTok? Yeah. People, if you don't see the treason happening right in front of you, like I'm trying to tell you, what? You're telling me, hold on. I can't have an app that you say a foreign country is using to mine my private data, which by the same people, the United States government, off your narrative, as you say, if you have nothing to hide, then what's wrong? Right? If you have, so let's just, if TikTok is actually farming and mining all this data, hold on, you know what time it is. If TikTok is mining and farming all this data, for one, the United States, why do we care? Because all our citizens are so wholesome, we have nothing to hide anyway, brother. Yeah. We have nothing to hide, Uncle Sam. So that's what you say. That's what you say. We got nothing to hide. So what's the problem? Same thing. So what's the problem with them doing it? Secondly, how do you allow a foreign balloon, a foreign spy balloon over your country for 2 weeks and do nothing but want to ban an app? What if the balloon had chemicals in it that could kill people? What if the balloon was a spy listening device that gathered information from every cell phone tower? It could be over. What if it had a nuclear bomb on it? No, we didn't care about that for a week or two. That's our government right now. We didn't care about that. But we got to ban a TikTok app and 30% Bitcoin mining tax. If you don't, people, my gunpowder is dry. Let me know when y'all are serious. We just need to write somebody in or redo this whole voting structure. We got 2 80-year-olds right now or some shit. Is absolutely insane what's happening right now in this country. This is hilarious too at the same time. This is why I wake up and I drink my little brew. Hey, people be like, where y'all be at? What happened to you? This is what it looks like not to be a fake guru. You live like this every day.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, shout out to my boy Phil. I think Phil was in the chat. He got the farm in Florida. Hey man, I'm trying to build this farm in North Carolina. I'm coming down to the farm in Florida too. I need some multiple locations. It's time to leave all this shit behind. I'm about to throw all my phones in the trash can. I'm going to the farm because basically, if you get involved, if you look at this every day, you got to laugh to keep from crying. So
That's what I'm saying, for real.
you might as well go ahead, have you a few brews. I know some people are celebrating or participating in Ramadan. After that's done, after Ramadan is done, hey man, just go ahead and have some fun because it looks like America is cooked at this point, man. We basically at this point we just doing anything, man. Nobody in the U.S. actually in the government actually likes us, so just do it for yourself. I think this is a great time. If everything is listening to you anyway, say whatever the fuck you want. That's why I say when people get mad at me on social media, I'm like, what are y'all scared of at this point? Let your nuts hang, man. Okay.
Listen, well, my thing is,
not be scared.
When people get mad at you or anyone else on social media, I'm like, all right, hold on. Take that energy, take that same energy and redirect it, because I guarantee you there's a bigger issue than what this person just tweeted. I can pretty much guarantee whatever they tweeted isn't the real issue. That's them talking words. All right. The real issue is what the law says and what's being enforced. I know that's crazy to think about. But hey, we'll see what happens. All right. Other than that, that's the show for today. Thanks for letting us rant as always, folks. You got anything else, Bitcoin Zay?
Hey, grab your Bitcoin, get some land, start a family, and get out the cities. That's all I got to say, because this shit is looking like it's trash right now. But at the same time, there is hope. I don't want to make it doomsday, because again, the biggest conspiracy theory is that everything's gonna be all right, people. It's all good. But yep, that's our show for today. Happy Hump Day.
Hey, happy Hump Day. Don't worry, people. I don't think it'll ever be a civil war. Why? Because our government is smart enough to see it coming. And what do they do to stop it? They take all the young, hungry, broke, just dregs of society, and they say, hey, hop on this shit, my boy, and sail across the world and have them issues over there. People, that's why we always at war. The United States ain't stupid. Look, can you imagine we brought back the entire Army, Marines, and Navy and let everyone stay in the United States? Oh, I shudder at the thought of it, okay? I shudder, and so should you. Other than that, DM Car is right. We got a barbecue coming soon. Make sure you stay tuned for it. We're going to be cooking up some good Haitian dishes out there. So it's going to be a lot of good times, a lot of good fun. Smash that like and share, and we will see you all on Friday.